Hi, and welcome back to Fishing with David Pyle. It's a cold January day in 2026. I'm out here on a very quiet river, beautiful day, to talk to you guys about a Garmin Reactor 40 Kicker. And as you can see, I'm in autopilot on this device right now, and my kicker motor is making slight adjustments side to side. But I'm going to talk about three main topics. The first being how to use the keypad, then in addition to the keypad, how to use the same keypad options on your screen on a GPS Garmin graph. The second piece will be how to maintain it, which is something that should be done a couple times a year, but I actually filmed a video a few days ago, took the whole thing apart, showed how to relubricate it. And then the third and final piece is how to use this in reverse mode to sit on anchor. So if those are items of interest to you, stay tuned and I'll walk through them. If not, you might want to fast forward. So starting off with our remote handheld, there's a big red button that activates and deactivates the autopilot. I'll press the red button right now and you'll hear the motor will actually go down to slow idle and it'll disengage. So I'm clicking that. You might have heard the motor calm down. It's no longer in autopilot. I'm free drifting right now. I shift it back on and I will use the up arrow button just to give me a little bit of thrust forward speed. Again, another key, obviously if I need to slow myself down, there's a down arrow key. Okay. There's two sets of keys for turning right and left, and there's double arrows and there's single arrows. The double arrows move you at 10-degree turns. So if I click on the right arrow, double arrow, my boat's going to shift 10 degrees. If I click on it again, it's going to shift another 10 degrees. And you can see as I press this button, my kicker motor swinging. I'll swing it back twice. Well, I'll keep going. As a matter of fact, I'll just hang a U-turn. Now, at 10 degrees, a U-turn is 18 clicks, 180-degree turn, correct? So, just so you know why I'm punching this button a bunch of times, there also are some programmable keys on here so that you could tell the device in one button push to hang a U-turn. And I'll talk about those buttons in a second. But most important are these keys. We have one key where supposedly, I haven't had good luck with this, but this button here on the left-hand side middle should be able to press that button while pointing your remote, and your boat should turn and go in that direction. I've never had luck with that, Garmin. That's something you guys should probably address. I don't know too many people that use it, but it's on the device, just so you know. There is a pause and remove, or actually pause and restart button, which is down here. I will press that button, and what that does is takes you down to low idle. It just takes you to low idle, but it doesn't completely disengage the autopilot like the red button does. And when you press it once more, it resumes, and you'll hear it. My kicker motor came back up. So that's your kind of pause and resume button. There's a key lock function so that you can lock the keypad. There's a 1, 2, 3 programmable keys. You can program it to do zigzagging, to make a U-turn as we discussed earlier, or to do a full circle. There probably are some other options you can program in there as well. And at the very bottom is an MOB button, and interesting enough, when you press the MOB, it does two things. One is it puts a mark on your chart plotter of when you press that button. So I have a new mark on my graph that's going to stay there. In addition to that, my graph will display an option. It's, do you want to execute the man overboard maneuver? It may not say that specifically, but it's something in those terms. So you walk up to your wherever your graph is and you select, yes, I want to execute that maneuver. It will hang a U-turn and executes a special predefined direction to get you back to where that person is. This is the Coast Guard. We studied this in my Coast Guard certification. It is a sequence that is supposed to get you back to if you drop somebody in the water. With a kicker device like this going this slow, probably not something I'm ever going to use. But if I had this autopilot attached to my big motor and I was out in the ocean trolling 8 knots, whatever, and somebody fell overboard, that might be a great tool to use. For the purposes of using it in a kicker autopilot, nah, probably never going to be touched. So those are the main keys. I think I discussed the second set of left and right buttons, and those will move you 1 degree turn at a time. So I'm pressing it once. It probably isn't going to make much difference back here, but if I press it 4 or 5 times, you see my kicker motor making a slight adjustment. And the final thing that I really want to add here is my big motor is pitched up. I have it fully up out of the water, and that allows my kicker motor to operate without fighting of that big motor acting like a rudder. And it makes a huge difference in your autopilot and how much that motor has to work. With that big motor down, my autopilot might be shifting side to side right now. I don't have much wind or current going on, so probably not. But if there's a little bit of wind, then it would have to work a lot harder than it would with that motor down. So now on to the second piece of these key devices. We're going to go up to my graph and we're going to look at this on the graph, how to slow it down, how to turn it, and so forth on my GPS. Okay, so now I'm sitting at the helm on my boat. I'm going to record this on my active captain. And so what I'm talking to you about will be, I'll show that in the screen as we're talking. But basically this is my GPS maps unit, and on the screen you'll see that it shows the direction I'm heading, how fast I'm going. It shows all the various indicators that a graph would show for autopilot. And what I'm going to do first is just show you when I make an adjustment on here. I'm on the plus right now, and I click on that, I'm increasing my speed. So just like I did with my handheld device, I can control my speed. I can move to the negative. Ah, my bad. Slow myself down. So I actually activated a turn, which I'm going to turn myself back the same as I would with my handheld device. So as you can see, you can do everything here that you need to do. Turning the boat 1 degree, 10 degrees. You can slow down, speed up. You can put yourself in what I called the pause resume mode, which is this button. And then when I click it one more time, it goes back to the same everything that it was set for, previous speed and so forth. Say push my power button, and the option there is to stand by, which is actually means it's going to disengage the autopilot, just like I did with the red button. So I press that, and now I'm in standby mode. On the screen you'll see it says engage autopilot. So I will re-engage, and then I'll go back and add some speed again. I think those are the major pieces that you need to know for using your device at the screen. Really, for me, kind of an emergency tool in case, like I said, this drops in the water. Okay, this morning I'm going to show you how to service a Garmin Reactor 40 Kicker Autopilot, and this should be done a couple times a year if you're in salt water more frequently. But basically you need a 5mm Allen wrench, and you'll unscrew this fitting here enough that you can work this motor free. Once you've done that, you're going to unscrew the electrical connection. That pops off, and then you're going to spin the motor off. Now we have to move to the other side to finish this, but once I'm free on this side, we will now move our camera. Okay, on this side, the Reactor 40, we're going to pull our pin, and we're going to remove washer, and a spacer. You may have two spacers, but the washers need to be on this flat bar. From here, we're going to unscrew or unbolt. And I loosened mine up previously just so I can make this very quick. And this guy is going to come free, and it's threaded on as well. And then we have a black seal back here that needs to slide off, and the motor will pull out. Now, I just serviced this motor about a week ago, so I'm not going to go through that part, but effectively I want to screw this all the way out to the very end, and I want to apply some white lithium grease onto this screw. I'm just putting a little dab on here, but I would just put one nice bead, and then I would screw it all the way in, and then screw it all the way out, and I mean all the way in down to here. So I'm not doing that, as I said, because this has just been serviced. So that cleaning, clean this off and apply a small bead of lithium grease as well. And then I take this stainless steel tube here, and I get a hunk of paper towel and put it on the end, and then I slide this through and ream it out clean. And I should take one step back. Clean this off with brake cleaning fluid first, wipe it down with a paper towel, then put your bead of lithium grease on. And the same thing here, I saturate that paper towel with brake cleaning fluid, clean it out, allow it to dry, and then we're going to put this guy back in with some grease on it. So reversing this out, we're going to put the motor back this side. And I'm actually going to thread it on. And the black seal goes back in here, making sure not to cross thread. For some reason mine wants to. That can go on hand tight, doesn't need to be wrenched on. And if you have grease all over your hands, you're going to want to make sure you get at least onto those threads until it stops. Okay, mine stopped. Next thing I need to do, swing the motor, and actually don't need to swing the motor quite yet. I'm going to put this guy back on, tighten it down. Mine requires a 9/16 wrench here. The nylon lock bolt's going to go on the bottom. Cancel a phone call real quick so I can finish this video. Okay, and I guess I won't have gloves for the rest of this. Find my socket wrench, and this happens to be 17 mil, but my old My old one was the smaller. I think it was probably 3/4 the same size as this. My new replacement obviously was different, so don't know why these two would be different size. Get that snug. Okay, from there we're going to put a black spacer and nylon washer. I'll have to swing the motor here and drop it down right on top. Not as complex as I made that look. Okay, the other washer and pin. Once you put this clip in, not a bad idea to take a nice little zip tie and just cinch that tight so that never comes loose on you. Okay, and effectively we're done. We just need to go back to the other side, tighten things up, and we'll be finished with this. Probably took all of about 6.5 minutes here. So I'm going to stand my camera back up. Hopefully it stays put for me. If not, I'll have to do this one-handed. So basically tighten that Allen wrench back up. In my case, this thing points straight down, keeping this out of the way of the motor swinging, and that's really important. So you're going to want to make sure when you put it back together that the swinging of the motor does not hit this. Okay, so we're going to tighten that on. Allen wrench is tightened, and make sure this is snug. Really torque it good, make sure that it's nice and snug, and then you're finished. You're ready to go fishing. Okay, as promised, I'm going to show on this screen how to use your autopilot in reverse. I'm sitting on anchor. You'll see that I'm not moving, and now I'm going to go in on my screen, hit the menu button, and there's a direction option, and I'm going to change that to reverse. And now that I'm in reverse, I'm going to actually turn my autopilot on. I'm going to activate it, engage, and now I'm sitting in what I'll call anchor mode. And now we'll walk to the back of the boat, grab my remote control, and then as you'll see, I'll start changing the direction here, and it will actually hopefully line me up the way I'd like to be lined up for anchor fishing. And you can, in essence, chalk your boat, which is something we do usually from the rope in the front of the boat. Chalk it off to move you side to side, or in this case we're going to kind of pitch the back end out and align our boat straight one way or another. So if I give it a little bit more gas, start moving my boat, obviously I don't want to go so much gas that I pull off of my anchor, but if there was a wind blowing up river, this would actually allow me to obviously keep my boat straighter, as opposed to using sea anchors. So this is what we have for autopilot running in reverse, with the kicker motor also running in reverse and holding us straight on anchor. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video on Garmin Autopilot Reactor 40, and we'll see you next time on Fishing with David Pyle.